This is cement burns training for Coolman and Williams Concrete employees.
After today's training, you will be able to define from memory 6 items of personal protective equipment and how to safely wear them in and around concrete. Explain the 4 steps in proper cleansing following exposure to wet concrete. Demonstrate to a qualified instructor the 4 steps used to prevent skin exposure to concrete when wearing chemical-resistant gloves. Since ancient times, concrete has been an important building material. Since ancient times, concrete finishers and other workers who are exposed to cement-based materials have resulted in skin problems caused from their exposure to the caustic, abrasive, and drying properties of wet or dry cement. Now, skin problems can range from irritating and annoying things such as rashes and dry skin, all the way up to serious burns resulting in skin grafts. Some individuals develop an allergic reaction to hexavalent chromium found in freshly mixed Portland cement products. This serious medical condition is irreversible, difficult to control, and can force a sensitized individual to find employment outside of the concrete cement industry. Besides medical reasons, there are some legal reasons that we need to be aware of. In April 2007, OSHA incorporated the Portland Cement Inspection Procedures as an appendix to OSHA's initial hexavalent chromium directive. When inspecting construction sites where Portland cement is being used, OSHA compliance officers are required to ensure that employers are following safe work procedures. Compliance officers will evaluate whether proper washing facilities and supplies, personal protective equipment, access to MSDS sheets, adequate worker training, and accurate injury and illness record keeping are in place. Let's start today's lesson with a discussion about the chemical nature of cement-based products and why we need to save our skin from exposure to the chemicals found in wet or dry cement. In discussing cement products, we often refer to pH. The pH of a mixture is simply a measure of how acidic or basic it is. On the pH scale, 7 is neutral. So, for example, pure water has a pH of 7. Any value below 7 is considered acidic. The closer the value is to 0, the more acidic the mixture. Concentrated hydrochloric acid has a pH of about 1. On the pH scale, any value greater than 7 is called basic or alkaline. The greater the value is above 7, the stronger the base. Most drain cleaners are strongly basic. Portland cement contains a number of chemicals, one of which is calcium oxide, commonly known as lime. Lime combines readily with water to produce calcium hydroxide, a basic or alkaline substance that is about 200 times stronger than drain cleaner. The alkaline nature of cement is even more caustic to skin than your common household drain cleaners. Contact with the wet product results in a destruction of skin tissue. Because the compounds in cement readily absorb water, even dry cement is hazardous. When cement powder combines with the moisture in our eyes, nose, or skin, tissue is destroyed. Unlike acids, the alkali in cement does not produce heat or pain immediately in our eyes, nose, or skin tissue. This is perhaps the most dangerous attribute of cement. The destruction of exposed tissue may go initially unnoticed, with little or no pain being felt until multiple layers of skin are dissolved away. This condition is commonly called a cement burn. This damage may require skin grafting and can often cause permanent scarring. The caustic nature of cement, combined with its water-absorbing nature and the abrasiveness of sand in the concrete, creates an especially dangerous combination in wet concrete. Clothing that has become soaked with wet concrete or even bleed or wash water acts as a sponge, holding the chemical contaminants to the skin where they burn tissue. The abrasive nature of sand in the mixture serves to irritate the skin and accentuate the level of skin damage. Because signs of cement burn are not always immediately apparent, it's especially important to use personal protective equipment as a preventive measure in protecting the skin from the dangers of wet and powdered cement products. To be effective, however, the personal protective equipment must be used properly. What follows are 6 items of personal protective equipment that you should be using when working in and around wet concrete. Now, these items are in addition to the PPE required, such as a hard hat and a safety vest.
Item number 1 is waterproof, chemical-resistant gloves that do not significantly limit dexterity. The gloves should provide the needed degree of protection for the work period. Item number 2 is to wear long pants. Number 3 is to wear a long sleeve shirt. Item 4 is to wear knee-high waterproof boots. Tuck pant legs in and take precautions to keep concrete from entering the top of the boots. Some workers duct tape their pants to secure them to the boots. Item number 5 is to wear waterproof knee pads when kneeling to finish concrete. Remember, always use pads or a board to prevent direct or indirect contact of skin and clothing with wet concrete. Let's see how much we've learned. Let's take a short quiz.
Let's see, pH scale is between 0 and what? What do you guys think? I think it's 14. Let's see if we're right. Yeah, good. pH is 14. Is that going to be acidic or alkaline? As I recall, it's going to be alkaline if it's above 7. And the burning effect of cement is unlike acid, doesn't create pain immediately. True or false? I'm going to go with true. And if it's 0, is it considered alkaline or acidic? Number below 7 is acidic. Pure pH or pure water has a pH of what? And that's going to be at the halfway point of the scale, which will be 7. Identify 5 of 6 items you should wear for PPE. Let's go with long pants, long sleeve shirt, waterproof boots, waterproof knee pads, waterproof and chemical resistant gloves. Lime in concrete is approximately 200 times more caustic than drain cleaner. As I recall, that's true. It was on our review slide. And we passed. Let's see what's next.
Number 6 is to wear goggles or ANSI rated impact resistant wraparound safety glasses. This is especially important when working with wet concrete to prevent eye injuries. This same eye protection should be used when working with powdered cement products as well. In addition to these 6 items, you should wear an approved dust mask as a minimum or a fitted NIOSH respirator approved for cement desk when working around powdered cement products.
Just having the personal protective equipment isn't enough. We need to be wearing it and wearing it correctly. Now, here's a fact that you may never have thought of. Did you know that most concrete or cement related burns are from the knees down and from the wrists up? This is why it's especially important that we protect ourselves from both direct and indirect exposure.
If any wet concrete gets into your gloves or boots or onto your clothing, it must be removed immediately. Contaminated clothing should not be rinsed while on the body.
What follows are 4 steps you need to know in order to properly cleanse skin exposed to wet or powdered cement.
Step 1. When clothing, or personal protective equipment become contaminated with wet concrete, remove the contaminated articles immediately. Step 2 is any skin that is exposed to wet or powdered cement product should be immediately cleansed with cool, clean water and/or decontaminated with a pH buffer solution. Do not wait until the end of the pour. Step 3 is to use a soap with a neutral pH. Check the label to determine. Choosing the correct soap eliminates the possibility of increasing skin damage by washing alkaline cement product with another alkaline soap. Step 4 is you may also want to use a spray-applied buffering solution. pH buffers belong to a certain group of chemical compounds that have the ability to alter and neutralize the pH of both acids and alkalis. For today's lesson, we are using Neutralite Safety Solution. This buffering solution upon contact will reduce wet cement contaminants with a pH of 13 or more to a predetermined pH range of 4.5 to 5.5. This is the pH of healthy skin. Specially designed buffer solutions upon contact instantly convert allergy-causing hexavalent chromium to harmless trivalent chromium, therefore greatly reducing the risk of chromium sensitivity. It is important to note that washing with soap and water will not prevent skin damage. Once contaminants have soaked into the skin, they are subsurface and cannot be removed, but they can be neutralized and rendered harmless with a buffering agent. One important note here: pH buffering solutions do not create a barrier that protects against alkaline exposure. They neutralize and decontaminate. For desired protection in addition to PPEs, keep a spray bottle close to you on the job site. Apply immediately after contamination. Tissue destruction starts immediately when wet cement contacts skin. Don't wait, decontaminate. We will demonstrate its use in a moment. Clothing should not be rinsed while you are wearing it. After you have removed contaminated clothing or equipment, transport contaminated clothing in a container separate from your clean clothing. Wash your work clothes separate from your family's clothes to protect your family. If wet concrete or dry cement product gets into your eyes, flush with plenty of cool, clean water. Do not use Neutralite in your eyes. Use a clean hand to gently lift both upper and lower eyelids as you wash. Seek medical attention immediately. If you start developing a skin problem, even a minor one, let your supervisor know immediately so that the appropriate medical treatment can be sought. When wearing chemical-resistant gloves to work in wet concrete, there are 4 steps you need to use to protect your skin from exposure to concrete. Step 1 is before putting on chemically resistant gloves, cleanse hands thoroughly, including the nail area. If you do not wash before putting your gloves on, you risk trapping contaminants that can irritate and burn your skin. Step 2 is to dry your hands thoroughly. Use lotions and creams with caution. Lotions and creams applied to contaminated skin cause contaminants to penetrate the skin deeper. It is recommended not to use barrier creams. They easily rub and sweat off, leaving a worker with a false sense of protection. You may want to wear a lightweight glove liner inside the waterproof glove. Step 3 is if you remove your gloves during work, wash before putting them back on. Before removing your gloves, clean off the outsides following the manufacturer's recommendations. Perform step 4 by removing gloves. Loosen them on both hands. Remove one glove so your fingers are inside the palm area of the glove and keeping the cuff of the glove over your palm. Next, grasp the second glove with the first glove and move it to the same position as the first glove. Once both gloves are in the same position, place them palm to palm. Then make a fist with both hands and then re-extend your fingers, pushing the gloves off of your hands. Keep pressing your fingers together, trapping the gloves between them, and grab them by the insides using your thumb and fingers. Handle gloves by the insides only. If the gloves are reusable, clean them at the end of your shift and store them in a dark, dry place. Now here is an important safety watch out. It's best to never wear a watch, rings, or other similar jewelry, which can damage gloves or trap wet concrete next to the skin. Jewelry can become snagged or caught on machinery, causing severe injuries also. On the job site, a common source of exposure to caustic alkali and allergy-inducing chromium ion is the wash bucket where tools are washed. Often a wheelbarrow is used for this purpose. The pH level of wash water increases to dangerous levels even after only washing one tool. Water used to wash tools is not only caustic due to its high pH, but it also contains hexavalent chromium that can be absorbed through the skin. To show you just how dangerous wash water really is, watch closely to this following demonstration. This paper towel is being dipped into a bucket that contains water used to wash various concrete hand tools. To the naked eye, this towel appears only to be wet. We will now spray it with a chemical pH color indicator. When this color indicator is sprayed on any surface that has been contaminated with a strong alkaline substance like cement, it will turn anywhere from a pink to crimson in color, depending on the alkaline level. As you can tell by the color of the paper towel, the alkaline level here is extremely caustic. Imagine what the water would do to your skin if you were to dip your hands into it. Now watch what happens when we spray Neutralite safety solution on the paper towel. It instantly buffers and neutralizes the cement alkalis on contact and chemically reduces the hexavalent chromium to undetectable levels. For the reasons just shown, gloves should be worn while washing tools and care should be taken to keep the wash water out of the glove. Hands exposed to wash water should be decontaminated and treated as if they were exposed to wet concrete. Proper personal protective equipment and thorough cleansing are important to all of us who work around cement-based products. We owe it to ourselves to protect our health. However, our responsibility does not stop here. As professionals in the concrete industry, we must take the necessary steps to warn our customers of the caustic nature of wet concrete and to inform them of the proper methods for personal protection and decontamination. Your company should be providing your customers with a written warning, such as contained on a separate product label. This particular product warning is provided by the National Ready Mix Concrete Association. This label will give your customers a written warning about the hazards of working with products containing Portland cement. It is your responsibility to go over this warning with your customers before you unload and to have your customers sign your copy of the warning. The warning should include the proper use of personal protective equipment, as well as the importance of immediate cleansing of exposed skin. Remind customers that if any skin problem develops, they should seek medical attention. If you see one of your customers working in an unsafe manner, contact dispatch immediately or notify the contractor. Be sure to document your efforts to enforce safe practices. Your skin is one of the most important organs in your body. You owe it to yourself and your family to protect your health. For yourself and your customers, when it comes to safely working around cement products and saving your skin, we all know the difference really is you.
All right, let's see how well we were paying attention. Wet concrete or dry cement gets into our eyes, check all that apply. Remember, we're going to flush with clean, cool water. Use a hand to lift the eyelids and lower the lower eyelids. We're not going to use a buffering agent. We're not going to just keep working. We're not going to don't worry about it. We are going to seek medical attention. The reason for that is you might think you've got everything out of your eye, but we need somebody to double check and make sure. Let's see if we're right. Good. Next, drag and drop the 4 steps in the proper order that will protect our skin when using gloves. As I recall, it's clean hands before putting on gloves. Dry hands completely, I believe that's next. If remove gloves during the day, wash before putting them back on, and I think remove gloves. I think that's correct. Good. Next, identify the 4 steps to use when clothing or skin is contaminated. Drop them in their proper order. Let's see. I would say 4 steps. So I would say, let's see, remove clothing immediately. Step 2 would be contaminated skin should be rinsed with water. Let's say that's second. About soap, third, pH neutral. Yeah, I don't think. I guess dry with it. You might want to spray a buffering solution. And then towel must be not a proper step. Let's see how we did. Oh, scroll to the bottom before submitting. All right, we did that correctly. Washing with soap and water is a good way to prevent skin damage after exposure to skin contaminants. I would say that's true. Incorrect. Okay, so they're saying that it's already soaked into the skin, so soap and water is not going to help. And that's when they need the pH neutralizer, that Neutralite that we actually sell in our building materials offices and have at our yards, at our plants. Once skin contaminates the subsurface, they can be neutralized with a buffering agent. That's true. Wearing a watch and jewelry is fine as long as it's waterproof. That's false. Remember, the cement can get trapped underneath jewelry and cause cement burns. And the wash water is usually diluted enough to be safe for skin. As we learned from that demonstration, that is false. And finish that. Let's see what's next. Final test. Again, pH scale is between 0 and 14. Review, a pure water has a pH level of half of 14, which is 7. It's right in the middle. Burning effect does not create pain until right away for cement burns. That's true. These are things you need to warn our customers and warn our employees as well, even our neighbors and friends. Let's see, if it's 0, it's considered acidic. That's that. Pure water again has pH of 7. 5 of 6 items would be waterproof gloves, long pants, long sleeve shirt, boots, knee pads. Lime is 200 times caustic than drain cleaner. You can use it for drain cleaner, wash water. pH scale is rated on a 0 and 14. We already did this. How many times I got to know that? pH is 14. It's considered to be alkaline. Soap and water, we already learned that's false. It's too late. pH is 14. It's alkaline. 0 is considered acidic. Gets into our eyes again. We're going to flush it with water. We're going to raise our eyelids We're gonna seek medical attention. 4 steps in proper order. We're gonna clean hands thoroughly before putting on gloves. Remove gloves during the day, that's fine. Dry hands completely, it would be second. And then submit. Question 15, step 1 is going to be remove clothing if it's saturated. Step 2 will be rinse your skin. Step 3 will be use a pH neutral soap. Step 4 will be use the buffering solution if you have it. Step 5, wiping with towel is not considered a proper step. The surfaces can be neutralized with the buffering agent after they've soaked in the subsurface. Wearing jewelry is not okay working with concrete or cement. Lastly, wash water is not safe for your skin. So we passed. Just to recap here, if you deliver concrete, sell concrete, you may have steps under our cement burns program to follow. We want to prevent cement burns to our customers. We want to warn them of the hazards, and we want to possibly stop delivering the concrete if we see them working with it unsafely. We'll review that plan with the appropriate employees at another time. Thank you for your attention, and you may have a couple questions to answer to get credit for this video training. Thank you.